All right, guys, this is a very important video I'm making here. Very important, and I need people to listen very clearly. This is very, very important, even for other chosen ones. And yes, I'm going to entitle this video with chosen ones in it, because I want people to forget all these games. The chosen ones, y'all need to know who to let in and who to cut off. We also gonna find out, we're gonna let Bobby Hemmitt explain who is the real chosen ones. How do you know? Okay? How do you know who is the real chosen ones? Now keep in mind, you're gonna hear Bobby Hemmitt say chosen ones. He made this video in the late 90s. He made this when nobody was talking about the chosen ones. Not no LeBron James, not nobody. You understand, guys? I need you to listen very clearly. I'm very serious about this. Now, as for me, remember, chosen ones, we got a lot of people that will rather die. Listen to what I say. We got a lot of people that will rather die than to see you win. They would rather die and go to their grave. It's like their last attempt at making you feel like shit. You got people that's really this low. That's what we as chosen ones need to understand. I'll say it again. You got people that would rather die than to let you know or see you win. But God has already let them see you win. I would say they would rather die than to actually acknowledge to you. And that means tell you in person that they know you anointed. They would rather die. Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? So as for me, I don't know about other chosen ones, but as for me, the only people that I am allowed to allow in my circle, meaning so-called friends or girlfriends or wife, whatever you want to call it, is people that acknowledge that I am an anointed person. I'm not going to let anybody play me weak. I'm not going to let anybody inside my circle that wants to play me weak, ignore me, play me stupid, act like they don't see me. Those people they're not in my circle. They're not allowed in my circle at all. And these people know who they are. You got people that love to play you weak, love to play you down. Meanwhile, once again, they're lurking, they're hovering, like they call it hovering. They're hovering around, lurking somewhere in the dark somewhere, hoping you fail. Hoping, praying that you fail so they can get some sleep that night. They only sleep good when they see a chosen one doing bad. I'm dead serious, guys. Let the man Bobby Hemmitt, who brought up the word chosen ones in the late 90s when nobody else was talking about it. Let's let Bobby Hemmitt say who are the real chosen ones. And once again, I'm not going to let anybody in my circle that does not acknowledge that I'm anointed. This is not me being egotistical. Y'all know I am not an egotistical person. All y'all people who've known me my whole life, know me as a little boy, know I am the same person. I just now know who I am. And ain't going to be no more games. Game time is over. This is Judgment Day. And it will be better if somebody who ain't chosen, it'd just be better if they acknowledge that somebody's anointed, rather than try to play them weak. Because maybe God might have grace on you. Because that's the only way God gonna save somebody that is not chosen, is by grace. That's it. Trying to play a chosen one week, nah, you don't come from God, and good riddance to you. I'm sorry, that's just the way it's gonna have to be. I've taken a lot of beatings in my life. I lost a lot of battles. I've scarred up, and now I'm basically a priest now because I've reached the age of 40. And I'm not going to tolerate no more BS. Now, after this so I'm done with that rant. Now, who has actually acknowledged that I'm anointed? I would say 2 or 3 black women and one white woman. But the white woman actually acknowledged it on YouTube with her mouth. The black women, they haven't actually said it to me personally, but I know that by heart, through the spirit, that they do acknowledge me. So this is not about wordplay, because somebody can say something to you. Anybody can say something to you and not mean it. The only people that have, I'll say it again, the only people that have acknowledged that I'm anointed is 2 or 3 black women and 1 white woman who said it by word of mouth on YouTube. And 2 days later, her channel got taken down. She know who she is. We're in contact with each other. The white woman is the only one who acknowledged it by mouth. You'll be surprised who really gonna have your back in these end times. It ain't gonna be the people you grew up with. It ain't gonna be your besties, and it might not even be your own spouse or your children. Let's let the man Bobby Hemmitt finally. Let's put the nail in a coffin. Who are the real chosen ones? Let's listen in. Wait a minute. Let me put this on auxiliary. I made that video. It was talking about unleash your power. And how terrible the ones that shine it will be. No, forget that. I did enough talking. Let's go straight to the man, Bobby Hemmitt. We want to know who are the real chosen ones.
And you can
no more games. We're not gonna play around. Let people come around and play us weak and play on our energy. No more.
Talk about ISIS and don't talk about the rest of them for the simple fact that basically she's the main part around the rest of them when you really deal with the male and female thing. So this particular book is a real awesome book that I highly recommend. Finally, they put out a book on ISIS. You know, they had some historical book called ISIS in the Greco-Roman world, but that's historical.
Wait a minute.
And they had this woman, some book called.
No, that's not the one. Let me go. I got the coordinates, guys. Give me 1 second. The coordinates, they on here. Still, well, y'all remember when I stopped by the lake?
And you can talk.
Kind of surprised I didn't put the coordinates in here. Let me find it, guys, real quick. Just gonna be quick. Usually I put the coordinates. I remember when I stopped. That's strange. I'm surprised I didn't. All right, we'll find it. It's only an hour video. We'll find it. Still, well, y'all remember when I stopped by the Lake Theater?
And you can you see, and all of a sudden 22 years you just can't say, well, I'm just gonna start using my brains to think. You see what I'm saying? So at talking, and there was some people in the team, and they're charging.
Come on, man.
Literature, African origins in the early ages.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna have to make a part 2 to this.
That's Mount Hotep in Egypt, Mount melatonin. Begun to even deal with some stuff because it's in a minute. You see what I'm saying? So even the historical figure that was saying that actually there was never no historical Jesus. Never. That thing was in actuality a person that traveled. That's cable. So it was actually the chariot. Chariot is also talking about a great race. That's something that says Shekinah is the spear. Why they was able to hide from him up until the last minute. So up until the last minute. Saying, and I watch TVs and I go to the movie too. To address, and that is in actuality that the actual Pleiadian cancer Dion kill them all, how to do all kind of stuff, how to love potions and all that stuff. There's some magical papyrus coming out of Egypt, so you can get.
Hold on, guys, we're gonna find it.
With some fairy tale time and the feminine spirit. So we're talking about who was confronting, who was set over all this was. And from that, the Greeks took that particular stuff. All this shit is engineered. To us. Serotonin was for astral plane. One of the keys to pollute the earth.
There we go. We found it.
For
We found it.
Israel, because ever since the white people been dealing with this particular information, this particular nuclear stuff has been killing them, burning them up, and all kind of stuff been happening to them. And that's just some more of our energy that they are not in the biological makeup to handle, you see. But that's a lot of the stuff that, like I said, a lot of the stuff that the scholars thought they was dealing with, they haven't even begun to even deal with some stuff, because there's things that the Moors brought up into doggone England.
Okay, guys. He about to talk about who is the real chosen ones. He about to talk about it right now.
That the white boy still got hid in his museums, and he's only letting them see just a little bit of the particular stuff. Now, I want to show you this. Look at this. This is going to be in this book called The Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, J.F.C. Fuller. J.F.C. Fuller used to be a good friend of Aleister Crowley, and he used to do a lot of his artwork for him, and he defected and went over to Adolf Hitler, because Adolf Hitler was claiming to be Heru, the Messiah, after he read the Book of the Law, which is also in the book Adolf Hitler, Black Magician by Schuster, Gerald Schuster. Anyway, this guy A.F.C. Fuller, after writing all this profound work on the Kabbalah, he defected because he thought literally he admired Adolf Hitler, because he said, oh, this man has got to be the Christ figure. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, the way he rose up and all this kind of crazy stuff. Now, look at this. But in this particular book, is a very good book if you can find this book to get. It's still in print. It's called The Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah. I want to show you something on page that was real profound on page 150.
Y'all ready? We've been waiting a while now. I know y'all been waiting a while. I hope y'all still there. He about to tell you who is these chosen ones. How do we know who they are? Come on, Bobby.
Two in this particular book. Look at this. Let's see, that 152. Hold on 1 minute. 152. Let's see if I can find this. Hold on 1 minute.
Come on, Bobby.
182, excuse me. 182. Now listen to this. It says, in short, the chosen people, which is us, are the light of the world. So they say Jesus is the light of the world. No, you the light of the world. And it says, a light which at a present is mixed with darkness, which means that you mixed in a multitude because you are in exile. So that means light and darkness. This city they're talking about the people with light and some of the people that don't have light, because even some of the crackers walking around has got that black dot and don't even know it also too. So they say this thing is all mixed all up. And it says, this at present it is mixed with darkness. The Gentiles are the children of Eshu. So you need to find out this, go and study this Eshu and all this kind of thing. This darkness will vanish little by little. First Israel will look forth as the dawn, and next she will become fair as the moon, then as clear as the sun. That is talking about raising your vibratory rates to the point where you shine again. And you're going to find out about this particular part in the book of Revelation. They're going to talk about people with unclean spirits. How you going to be able to tell in the end days on who ain't right and all, because their auras ain't going to have enough energy to shine the way yours is, because they don't have the shit on the inside. And that's going to monitor this thing. Now, lastly, terrible as an army with banners, which means also when you shine like a doggone sun, then you're going to become terrible because you're going to have your strength back. Such as the reformation of Yahweh. When it is accomplished, not a Gentile, or excuse me, white that they're talking about here, will be left to pollute the earth. For Israel, Isis, Ra, and El, which means sun, or another ancient name for Heru.
I just want to correct that. It said son of Eshu. Gentiles is not going to be all, does not mean all white people. I want to make that very clear. We know the Bible says that it will be people from all nations that are going to be saved, from all nations. The Bible clearly says that. Gentiles is anybody that is not in, we would say the truth, the so-called truth. Okay. It's the people who say they Jews, but not. That does not mean we're just talking about the Jewish people. That means anybody that says that they are a child of God and they are not.
the Trinity, El, Son, and also Elohim. You see, son and also heirs. Also, Israel will become the messianic.
Remember, Israel does not just mean black people. Israel actually means the planet Earth.
Chin, which will unite the tongue of God.
The reason people get it confused about Israel just meaning black people, we know it's Isis, Ra, and El. The reason people think it's only black people is because they're misunderstanding the text. Israel means the entire planet. The only reason it's referred to black people is because we were the first ones on the planet, because we are the first fruits. It does not, Israel does not mean only black people, because the other races came out of black, which technically makes them black too. At least the ones with the black dot.
And the utterance, and his name will enter the universe and vanish into absolute light. And it says, such is the inner meaning of illumination. So they're talking about here that in actuality, they're talking about when you raise yourself back, they said these particular Gentiles will be white, won't be one left to pollute the actual earth, which I thought was real. Now I want to show you another one up in here. I'm going to show you another one.
You got white women with these butts. You can't tell me there ain't no white one. We're gonna check that out too.
Well, I also read the one about you where they said about God permits the pain and suffering because he favors you more, and the one who is weak of soul, he is the most hated of God. That's also in this particular part here. But what's getting ready to happen is when we go to a certain level, you're going to be able to tell who ain't real and who's not real, because there's going to be even some white people with the doggone black dots. So in order to actually pick everything out, what ain't shining?
Exactly.
There's different races down here. And there's clones.
Clones. Let's listen to this one more time.
Because you are in exile. So that means light and darkness. This city they're talking about the people with light and some of the people that don't have light, because even some of the crackers walking around has got that black dot and don't even know it also too. So they say this thing is all mixed all up. And it says, this at present it is mixed with darkness. The Gentiles are the children of Eshu. So you need to find out this, go and study this Eshu and all this kind of thing. This darkness will vanish little by little. First Israel will look forth as the dawn, and next she will become fair as the moon, then as clear as the sun. That is talking about raising your vibratory rates to the point where you shine again. And you're going to find out about this particular part in the book of Revelation. They're going to talk about people with unclean spirits. How you going to be able to tell in the end days on who ain't right and all, because their auras ain't going to have enough energy to shine the way yours is, because they don't have the shit on the inside. And that's going to monitor this type thing. Now, lastly, terrible as an army with banners, which means also when you shine like a doggone sun, then you're going to become terrible because you're going to have your strength back. Such as the reformation of Yahweh. When it is accomplished, not a Gentile, or excuse me, white that they're talking about here, will be left to pollute the earth. For Israel, Isis, Ra, and El, which means son, another ancient name for Heru, the Trinity, El, Son, and also Elohim. You see, son and also heirs. Also, Israel will become the messianic Shin, which will unite the tongue of God and the utterance, and his name will enter the universe and vanish into absolute light. And it says, such is the inner meaning of illumination. So they're talking about here that in actuality, they're talking about when you raise yourself back, they said these particular Gentiles will be white, won't be one left to pollute the actual earth, which I thought was real. Now I want to show you another one up in here. I'm going to show you another one up in here. Well, I also read the one about you where they said about God permits the pain and suffering because he favors you more, and the one who is weak.
Mike, this is why I went back over this. Mike Tyson, he once said, this come from Mike Tyson, I heard him. He said the reason Allah, remember Mike Tyson, a Muslim, he said the reason Allah allows these people to be rich who are evil is because it's like being on death row. It's like asking for your last meal on death row. Well, of course, you're going to order maybe a grass-fed, dry-aged burger with a pretzel bun, and some truffle fries and a milkshake, and then you're gonna put sprinkle some gold on that burger. Y'all know it's $1,000 hamburgers out there. Why does God allow these evil people to be rich? Because they are on death row. You get it?
So he is the most hated of God. That's also in this particular part here. But what's getting ready to happen is when we go to a certain level, you're going to be able to tell who ain't real and who's not real, because there's going to be even some white people with the doggone black dots. So in order to actually pick everything out, what ain't shining? Because there's different races down here. And there's clones too with black people, so hell, you know what's shining there.
You heard it.
Based on that, their auras is going to shine. They also talk about that in the book of Revelation. They say, you will know the righteous man, which is talking about the righteous because he's right or ripe. He's ripe as far as fruit, because that is his origin. He's back after the cocoon stage. He's ripe. So the righteous man, they will tell you, the particular righteous man, you will know him because he will shine like bright lights. But the impure spirits will be a dull type of aura. So you'll be able to actually, be able to deal with the actual aura type thing. Now, it's interesting. Now, there's a book that you want to get. I don't know the name of the person, but there's a book out now. There's one of these books is talking about melanin and melatonin. And
we're going to stop it right there. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Now, I'm going to leave a couple of links, guys, including this one with Bobby, this lecture. I'm going to leave the links, and I'm going to leave a link of me talking about what 666 is and how we going to 616. Christ is the 13. That's why you got 13 sun. I'm going to leave a 13 sun link of him brightening the lights. Christ is a 13. That's why we see Christ with a halo over his head, because he's shining. That's why Jesus told the disciples, greater is you and me. In other words, Christ is not somebody's name. Christ is an attainment. It is something an individual can attain when they rise to a certain vibrational frequency. The 13. Their bodies corrupted can be raised to incorruptible. So you will go from a 666, which is the number of a man, not one man, not the devil, number of man, 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. And the ones that's going to turn into the Christ are going to do 616, where it's going to be 6 protons, 1 electron, and 6 neutrons. That's why you see the paintings with Jesus in the middle. That's why I made the video 666 with me shining. Don't play with me, man. That's why ain't nobody gonna be allowed to play me weak. That's why they say the one shining gonna be terrible. You're gonna have people running from us. They're not gonna want to be in our prison. Once again, you got people that will rather die than admit that the anointed ones are anointed to their face. They will rather die. I'll leave us some links. Check it out. I'll rest my case. Case closed.